You know, it's one of those things I always say in New Hampshire, it's cold. And then I come to Iowa and I go, it's real cold. Either way, it's cold, but I have gotten so used to it. We have spent the last 11 months campaigning across this beautiful state, back and forth. We've had over 150 town halls during this campaign, answering every question, shaking every hand. I'm the last person to leave, and now it's go time. 9 days until the caucuses, and guess what that means for you? No more commercials. No more text messages, no more your mailbox being full with mail. I know you are excited, but also get excited because this is when you can really set the tone of where we're going in our country. I don't know how much more blessed you get to be first. To say, this is what we think. This is how we feel the country should go. And all eyes are now on Iowa. And so while we've got all eyes on Iowa, this is the time where we make our case to you. Why can we make your life better? What can I do that you're going to feel that you say, yes, that's the person? And so I'll break it down for you. Wouldn't it be nice to have an accountant in the White House? Just imagine if we changed the direction in the country and we suddenly had someone who cut out all the wasteful spending, who got our agencies back on track, who said we're not going to be in any more debt. And how are we going to do it? We're going to start by cutting out the $100 billion of unspent COVID dollars out there and bring those back. We're going to, instead of 87,000 IRS agents going after middle America, we're going to go after the hundreds of billions of dollars of donor fraud. 1 out of every $7 was spent fraudulently. If 8% of our budget is interest, quit borrowing. We're going to stop the borrowing. You balance a budget every day. Chris and I as governors balance a budget every day. Why is Congress the only group that refuses to balance a budget? We'll get the spending back on track, and I will veto any spending bill that doesn't take us back to pre-COVID levels. That will save us trillions. Then we're going to take as many federal programs as we can and send them down to the states. That will dramatically reduce the size of the federal government, but it will empower people on the ground. And then we're going to strengthen the middle class. We're going to eliminate the federal gas and diesel tax in this country. And we're going to cut taxes on the middle class so that they can breathe. And then we're going to make sure that we make the small business tax cuts permanent. Small businesses are the heartbeat of our economy. They made those tax cuts temporary. They made the corporate tax cuts permanent. We're going to start acknowledging small businesses for the little powerhouses they are in our economy. Then when it comes to education, we have 31% of 8th graders who are not proficient in reading. Only 31% of 8th graders in our country are proficient in reading. Only 27% of 8th graders are proficient in math. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our kids reading again. We're going to bring in reading remediation. We're going to stop sending them forward. We're going to start holding them back. We're going to set them up for success. We're going to make sure we have complete transparency in the classroom. Every parent should know what's being taught to their parents, and every syllabus and every plan for every class should be online so parents can see it. We're going to allow parents to decide where their children go to school and what their mode of education is. Every child deserves a good education, regardless of where they're born and raised. And then we're going to build things in America again. We're going to put vocational classes back into our high schools and teach our kids how to do the things we need them to do. That way they're invested in our economy before they even get out. And then for all you girl dads out there and all you strong moms, we have to remember, you have to raise strong girls. Strong girls become strong women. Strong women become strong leaders. And none of that happens if you have biological boys playing in girl sports. We're going to cut that out once and for all. We are going to secure our border, and we're going to do more than just build a wall. We're going to make sure that not only are we building a wall, we're going to defund sanctuary cities once and for all. No more safe havens for illegal immigrants. As governor, I passed one of the toughest illegal immigration laws in the country. Obama sued me over it. We're going to take that plan nationwide. We're going to do a national E-Verify program that requires every business to prove that the people they hire are in this country legally. We're going to put 25,000 Border Patrol and ICE agents on the ground and let them do their job. We're going to go back to the Remain in Mexico policy so they never even step foot on U.S. soil to begin with. And instead of catch and release, we're going to go to catch and deport. That is how we will take care of our border. We're going to take care of our veterans and treat them how they should be treated. And then, instead of being energy independent, we're going to be energy dominant. We are going to make sure we get the EPA out of the way. Right now, they care more about sagebrush lizards than they do about whether we can afford our utility bill. We're going to speed up permitting. We're going to make sure we get the Keystone Pipeline. We're going to export as much liquefied natural gas as we can. We're going to do nuclear. We're also going to make sure we do biofuels. And not just enough, let's make it the economic powerhouse we know it can be. When we do that, we won't be going hat in hand to Saudi Arabia. We won't be getting dirty oil from Iran or Venezuela. But we will actually make ourselves more nationally, protect our national security, because we know that the second we stop demonizing our producers and start partnering with our producers, that's when magic will happen. Then we have to deal with national security. And we know that our number one goal is always to prevent war. You prevent war by being smart. You don't go throw cash out to countries that hate America. You don't go and try and buy friends. You don't pay countries off. But you partner with whoever can make sure that we never go to war. When it comes to Ukraine, we should make sure we partner with Ukraine. I don't think we should ever give cash, friend or foe, money, because you can't follow it. We can't hold it accountable. But we need to make sure Ukraine has the equipment and ammunition to win so that we prevent further war. We need to make sure we have the backs of Israel so that we can stop the terrorism before it gets to us. And we need to make sure America is strong. And the way you do that is by having a strong military. Strong militaries don't start wars. Strong militaries prevent wars. And we can do all of these things. It's doable. Every bit of it. But we got to get government working again. And the way we'll get government working again is to remember what's causing it to slow down in the process. It's chaos. It's constant chaos. We're going to end the national self-loathing. To anybody that's saying that America's bad or rotten or racist, all of that's going out the window. Our kids are going to love America. They're going to be saying the Pledge of Allegiance before they start school every day. We're going to look at a D.C. that's not working right now, and we're going to say, yes, it is finally time we have term limits in Washington, D.C. I think we need to have mental competency tests for anyone over the age of 75. And let me tell you, that's not being disrespectful. That's not being disrespectful. I don't care if we do it for 50 and up. We all know people who can run circles around us that are over 75. Senator Grassley's a perfect example. And then we know Joe Biden. We need to know that these people are at the top of their game. They're making decisions on our national security. They're making decisions on the future of our economy. Let's get it to where we can trust it. Let's get a government that instead of us working for them, government's serving the people. So we know the solutions of how to get there. But in order to get there, we've got to acknowledge hard truths. And the hard truth is, Republicans have lost the last 7 out of 8 votes for president, popular votes for president. That's nothing to be proud of. We should want to win the majority of Americans. But the only way we're going to win the majority of Americans is if we get a new generational leader that leaves the negativity and baggage behind and looks to the future and solutions on what we need to do going forward. think President Trump was the right president at the right time. I agree with a lot of his policies. He was really good at breaking things. He just wasn't good at fixing them. And now we look at the fact, rightly or wrongly, chaos follows him. You know I'm right. Chaos follows him. And we can't have a country in disarray and a world on fire and go through 4 more years of chaos. We won't survive it. You don't fix Democrat chaos with Republican chaos. So in order to get this done, we need to have some courage. We've got to start saying, what do we have to do? And what we have to do is make sure we don't have another nail-biter of an election. We've been that. We've been through that. We've done enough of that. You look at all of those. Any of them head-to-head with Biden. If we go into a general election, Ron doesn't defeat Biden. Trump is head-to-head with Biden. On a good day, he's up by 2. Wall Street Journal had him up by 4 points. That's margin of error. I'm in every single one of those polls. I defeat Joe Biden by 17 points. Do you know what that means? That's bigger than a presidency. That's governorships. That's the House. That's the Senate. That's down to school board. But what happens if you have a double-digit win going into D.C.? That's a mandate. That's a mandate to stop this wasteful spending and get our economy back on track. That's a mandate to get our kids reading again and get our education back to the basics. That's a mandate to secure our border with no more excuses. That's a mandate to bring law and order back to our country. And that's a mandate for a strong America that we can be proud of. Don't y'all want that again? Because we could have that again. But in order to have that, it's going to take a lot of courage. Courage from every single person in this restaurant. Courage for me to run. And courage for every one of you to know. Don't complain about what happens in a general election if you don't play in this caucus. It matters. Now, I have seen what you see on TV, and I have seen the mail that you're getting, and all these fellas are just showing me way too much attention, and I appreciate it. The problem is they're lying a whole lot. I have never once raised taxes, nor would I ever. I think government gets too much of our money. The last thing we need to do is give it more of them. So when you've got Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump saying that I raised taxes, no, I killed tax hikes. We cut taxes. We never did anything. We cut $1 billion off the top at the UN. As an accountant, I'm always trying to look for ways to make things run more efficiently. So that's a lie. This thing that Ron has going on right now, saying that Hillary Clinton was my inspiration, I never once said that. Ever. Ever. Then what's another good one? The border. Thank you for saying that. So Trump now has an ad that says that me and Joe Biden never wanted to build a wall and secure our border. You know what I actually said? You can't just build a wall. You got to do more than that. And I listed all those things we have to do. You do it in addition to building the wall. So they're taking little pieces and they're putting it together to make it look like what they want you to see. But you know what it all means? If they're lying, it's because they know they're losing. It's that simple. And if they're going to lie about me, I'm going to tell you the truth about them. So let's start with Ron DeSantis. God bless him. Why don't you ask him, if you see him, why he basically authored the legislation and led the charge to ban the renewable fuel standard? Why don't you ask him why he banned fracking? Why don't you ask him why he banned offshore drilling and why the Sierra Club loves him? Ask him that, because he won't have an answer for you. Trump wants to say, I raised taxes. Never happened, but you know what he did? He tried to increase the gas tax on every one of us by 25 cents in 2018. He proposed that. I would ask him about that, but he won't debate me. He's pulling a Biden, and he's not getting on stage to debate because he doesn't want us to ask him the question. And everybody talks about the economy under Trump and how good it was. It felt good, right? But at what cost? He put us $8 trillion in debt to have that economy. Our kids are never going to forgive us for that. We're digging out of it now. Do you know, at this rate, in a couple of years, we're going to be paying more on interest payments than we pay on our defense budget? You know who loves that? Russia, China, and Iran. Love it and are waiting on it. So let's be honest about what we're talking about. Let's be honest about the differences. I don't have to lie about any of them. I can tell the truth. They don't have anything, so they're going to lie about it. Either way, I trust you. You know the difference. I'll answer any question. We try and put everything on the website so that if you have anything that I don't say, you can get the answers there. But let me tell you what you're going to get when I'm president. You're going to get someone who over-communicates. You're going to get someone that tells you everything I know, where I think we should go, and how we would get there. That's how I was as governor. That's how I was as ambassador. I think that I empower you when I tell you everything I know. Right now, we've got leaders who think, all of them, Republican and Democrat, all of them, the leaders that we have, they think they need to decide who's good and who's bad, who's right and who's wrong. That's not what a leader does. You don't judge your people. You go and bring out the best in people and show a way forward. That's what we've been missing. That's why we're sitting in chaos the way we are. Is they're all like blaming and labeling and hating each other instead of realizing we're Americans. And we've got to get through all of this together. But the way you get through it together is not by picking who's good and who's bad. The way you get through it together is by remembering what our end goal is. And that's making sure that America is strong and valuable for our kids and our grandkids. So with me, you will get a transparent, happy warrior that goes out and fights to cut waste all the time. You will get a happy warrior that will do everything I can to secure America and make sure our men and women never go to war. I'm the wife of a combat veteran. If you are a military family, you know our whole focus is preventing them from going to war. You will get a happy warrior that's going to really focus on your freedoms and your rights and your ability to make your own decisions and never have government tell you what to do, how to say it, or where to go. And you're going to have a happy warrior who dealt with Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, Israel every day and knows exactly how to put them back on their heels because I've done it. That's what you're going to get. That's what we could have. That's the America that you could have, is the one where you're back in the driver's seat again. You deserve that. That's what it was supposed to be. Without the chaos, without the fear, without all of these things that are clouding us every day. Where our younger adults know, yes, they're going to be able to have a job. They're going to be able to afford a house. They're going to be able to do all those things. That's what I want. You're going to have a happy warrior who's not going to talk about 4 and 8 years, but who's going to talk about 20 and 30 years and what it's going to look like. We're not going to lead by executive order. We're going to lead and do it the hard way so that we have strong, sustainable things where we're thinking 30 years out so we can see what America will look like. When I announced I was running, they asked me why I was doing this. And I said, my parents came here 50 years ago to an America that was strong and proud and full of opportunities. I want them to know that country again. I'm doing this for my husband, Michael, and his military brothers and sisters. I want them to know their sacrifice matters. I want them to know that we love our country. I'm doing this for my daughter who just got married, and I saw how hard it was for her and her husband to buy a home. The average home buyer in America now is 49 years old. And I'm doing this for my son, who's a senior in college. And I am tired of watching him write papers of things he doesn't believe in just to get an A. That's not us. That's not America. And for the first time, 81% of Americans don't think their kids are going to live as good of a life as we did. We can't be okay with that. I'm not okay with that. We have a country to save. But I'll promise you this. In 9 days, if you will join with me in this movement, if you will join with me in this fight, if you will go out and tell 10 people to join you in those caucuses, I promise you that our best days are yet to come. Thank you for having us. You've got caucus cards at your table. Go tell 10 people. Take a yard sign, volunteer, show up for caucus, whatever you need. We will make sure we get that for you. We can do this. Get excited. 9 days away from Iowa leading the charge on what the new America is going to look like. God bless you. Thank you.